There is some finite degree of wealth inequality a society can tolerate before it is ripped apart by violence. More intense wealth inequality means more violence, a higher homicide rate, and a higher probability of violent revolution. Why people tolerate inequality until they don't. Wealth inequality exists in every society. Some people become rich, others don't. That alone doesn't destroy nations. People tolerate inequality as long as they believe they can move upward. The danger begins when people feel stuck, the system looks rigged, and the future feels hopeless. At that point, inequality stops looking like competition and starts looking like oppression. That's when societies turn violent, because humans are wired for fairness. When people believe the economy is built for a small elite, anger grows until it explodes. History repeated warning. History tells the same story again and again. France, 1789. A tiny elite lived in luxury while everyone else starved. Result: revolution and collapse. Russia, 1917. Extreme inequality and misery led to uprising and civil war. Latin America, 20th century. When wealth concentrated at the top and wages sank, riots, coups, and insurgencies followed. These nations didn't erupt because of poverty alone. They erupted because inequality became unbearable. History's lesson is simple. When people lose hope, they stop obeying the rules. Economists measure inequality with the Gini coefficient. 0 equals perfect equality. 1 equals one person owns everything. Stable countries usually fall between 0.25 and 0.35. America over 0.41 and rising. Countries with similar inequality, like Brazil or South Africa, also suffer high violence. That's not coincidence. When inequality grows, so does violence. Homicide, gang, crime, extremism, and unrest. Crime grows where people feel locked out of opportunity. When people believe they can succeed, they follow rules. When they think the system is stacked, they stop caring. The poorest countries aren't always the most violent. People don't revolt just because they're poor. They revolt when they see wealth but can't reach it. That's relative deprivation, feeling poor compared to others. When the system feels unfair, anger rises, trust collapses, and violence becomes rational. A person with nothing to lose is dangerous. A society with nothing to lose is fatal. America's concentration of wealth. In the US, the richest 1% now own more wealth than the entire middle class combined. The richest 400 families hold more than 150 million other Americans. Meanwhile, wages stagnate, rent soars, healthcare bankrupts families, student debt drains lifetimes, and the cost of living outpaces income. Civilizations fail not when people are poor, but when they feel trapped forever. The American dream once meant work hard, build a life, secure a future. Today, hard work no longer guarantees survival. That's the danger. Revolutions rarely start with the poorest. They begin when the middle class collapses. In the 1960s, one income could buy a home, car, healthcare, and college. Today, even two incomes barely cover rent in many cities. The middle class is shrinking, buying power falling, and trust in government evaporating. When those who once believed in the system lose faith, a nation becomes unstable. Hope keeps society peaceful. Take away hope, and people turn to anger, crime, or revolt. Signs of pressure in America. Look around. Mass shootings at record highs, homicides rising in major cities, political polarization at extremes, protests turning violent, distrust of government surging, billionaires building bunkers. Even the wealthy see what's coming. When those at the top start preparing for collapse, it's because they understand what inequality brings. Some argue America can survive extreme inequality because police and military power are strong, surveillance is advanced, the public is divided, elections release some pressure, and people blame each other, not the rich. A divided nation rarely unites against elites. As long as people fight over culture, race, religion, or politics, anger stays scattered, not focused. That division is why inequality has lasted so long. So when does inequality turn violent? History shows 4 warning signs: extreme wealth concentration, low social mobility, a shrinking middle class, loss of trust in institutions. America shows all 4. Most Americans believe the system is rigged, the future will be worse, and politicians serve the wealthy. That's exactly how revolutions begin. Not overnight, but through years of eroding trust until something finally snaps. The danger isn't civil war in the traditional sense. The danger is collapse through rising crime, violent protests, strikes, political gridlock, refusal to obey laws, and loss of national unity. A nation doesn't need soldiers in the streets to fall apart. It can decay quietly until it's unrecognizable. America isn't collapsing yet, but it's heading that way. And once inequality reaches a critical point, reform becomes nearly impossible. The rich fight to keep what they have. The poor fight to survive. The middle gives up. That's when societies fracture. The United States still has a choice. Rebuild the middle class, make education and healthcare affordable, restore mobility, tax fairly, and rebuild public trust. Or continue down the path where billionaires grow richer, the middle shrinks, the poor grow desperate, and violence spreads. History offers no mercy to unequal empires. Rome, France, Russia, Britain, Spain all fell when inequality hardened. America is not immune. Every nation has a breaking point, and the United States is inching closer each year. Inequality doesn't destroy a nation overnight. It erodes it slowly until one day the system snaps. So ask yourself, is America still a place where ordinary people can build a life? Or is it becoming a country where the rich build walls and everyone else fights over what's left? Every society can tolerate only so much inequality. Eventually, people stop hoping and start fighting. And when that day comes, there is no turning back. If you like this video and want more content like this, like and subscribe. Thank you.